Welcome everyone to this video where I'm going to be covering a coding bat challenge in Python. The one we're going to cover today is called last2. So let's read through it and then I will show you how I completed it. Given a string, return the count of the number of times the substring length 2 the substring length of 2 appears in the string and also has the last two characters of the string. So for example, hi xxx hi yields 1, and we won't count the in a substring. So let's look at an example. So hi xxx hi. So what they're doing is they're taking the last two characters hi, and then they're searching the array. And how many times does it appear other than itself? So in this one is once. And then we're looking at this string. We're going to grab xxx or just xx. And if we go through the string, we see it right there. So there's once, and that's it. All right, and the next one, xx again. So what we're going to do is, oh, there we see it once, and then it's also going to check for overlaps. So there it is twice, and then not count itself, so 2 times. All right, what I've done here is I have kind of written it out in comments, kind of a pseudocode just to help share my thought process in how I solve this example. And hopefully you can use this technique. I would suggest it rather than jumping into code. And let's go through some of those and then we'll fill in the code. So first thing we want to do is create a variable with 2 characters of this last string. So we want to grab these 2 characters and we'll create a variable for that. The next one, what we're going to do is we're going to create a counter variable. So what we're going to do is count how many times that appears in the string. So those are the 2 variables we want to create. Then we're going to loop through the array. And we're just basically going to go through the length of the string minus the last 2 characters because we don't need to check for those. Then what we're going to do is create another variable for substring. So basically the substring is the 2 iterations that we're going to check for throughout the string. And we'll start with the very first one, and then we'll add a character to it every time that we loop through. Then we'll check if that new double character string, if it equals the last 2 variable we created earlier in up here. And then each time that those 2, the substring and the last 2 match, we're going to add it to the counter, and then we're going to return how many times that it counts. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's run through it. So first thing what we're going to do is we're going to say last2 equals, we're going to do a string at position -2 is how we do that. Then we're going to do a counter, and we're going to set that to 0. Then we'll create our for loop. So for I in range, and just for fun, I will do the full 0, and then length of string. Oops, sorry. And then -2 because we're not counting the last 2 characters, and then for each character, and then we'll iterate 1 through the loop. All right, and then now we're going to create a new substring, and we're going to set that equal to the string and position I through position I plus 2. Okay. Now we're going to check if the substring equals last2. And we put a colon at the end of that. Then what we'll do is, so if those 2 equal, so basically each 2 strings that we're looking through, does it equal the last 2? If it does, then we'll increase the counter, so plus equal to 1. And then return counter. You want to make sure that return is at the same level as the for loop because it has to go through the full loop. If you indent it, it will not complete the loop. So we want to make sure that is at the right place. That's a common mistake. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Let's go ahead and run that. And it looks like I have a mistake here. Okay, last2 equal, oh yeah, I need a colon there. All right. So that's the solution. Hopefully this explanation helped. If you have any questions, feel free to add those in the comments, and thank you for watching. So long.